Hi friends, it's Miss Kara here again. Today I'm in the kitchen and I'm making a snack. I'm making s'mores trail mix, more specifically bunny s'mores trail mix. You can also use Teddy Grahams, but today we're using bunny grahams. So parents, I want to encourage you to take this simple mixture that is not the healthiest. It's more like a dessert than a snack, but I want you to I'm always trying to find things that are not frustrating, because a lot of times with preschoolers we might set our expectations a little bit too high, which can be good because we do need to challenge our children. But sometimes whenever we want to focus on the bigger picture, it's good to do things that are maybe a little simpler than using like raw ingredients or really messy ingredients, because then that allows you to focus on other aspects, other learning aspects of putting it together. So the first thing I want to tell you is, in our s'mores mix, my kids loved this when they were little. They thought it was so fun to get this in their lunch. And that's where the idea came from. For this, you're going to need Teddy Grahams or bunny grahams, some kind of little graham crackers, because it's s'mores. You're going to need some chocolate chips, and you're going to need some mini marshmallows. And so I want to encourage you parents to allow your children to open these things up as part of their practicing using motor skills, developing their motor skills. Anytime they get to use their hands to do things and figure things out, this is getting them a step closer to mastering whatever that task is and helping them in other tasks as well. So encourage them to open the box and encourage them to take out the package all on their own. If you have some little scissors that you feel comfortable with them using, then let them try to do that. It might be a little challenging, it might be frustrating, but again, this is a learning experience, so make sure you're doing this when you have time to really set aside for this. And let them try to open the package on their own. If they're too little for scissors or you don't feel comfortable, that's fine. Then, show them how you're doing it, and maybe explain to them that, scissors that we can use scissors when mommy or daddy's around, but we got to be careful scissors. And again, it's a learning opportunity. But allow them, once it's open, allow them to pour it into the bowl. Again, so they can practice holding things and balancing them and not spilling them on the way to the bowl. All these things are good learning experiences for the kids. The whole experience is what they need. Your chocolate chips, you could encourage them to tear. This bag has a nice little easy tear, so they might be able to do that. If they can't, they might get a little dramatic. I know my Lauren, when she was little, she would be like, but just encourage them to strengthen their little hands and practice and help them if they need it. But once you open it, if they need help, again, allow them to pour in the chocolate chips. For this, you probably would only want to do half a bag, but you could tell them, hey, we'll use the other half to make some chocolate chip cookies, or we'll do something different. And of course, they're gonna probably want to taste things along the way. These little bunny cookies are irresistible. They're gonna want to try them, and again, that's part of it. Let's taste each ingredient separately, and then maybe you could also encourage them to taste a chocolate chip and a bunny together, or a marshmallow and a chocolate, and have them tell you how does that taste, how is that different. And again, this helps them to develop language processing skills of what it feels like in their mouth or what it tastes like, and then articulating that into words. And this is also a good part of this learning experience. So we're going to pour in half of these chocolate chips. Again, let your child do that. Let them practice opening the bag if you feel comfortable with them with scissors. It's another great way for them to practice their cutting skills. And then I would put in about half of these marshmallows, and again, allow them to pour them in. If they make a mistake and pour in too many, let's just calmly take them and put them back in and just say, oh, that's a little too many. Maybe we'll use the other half of this bag to make a small batch of Rice Krispie treats. But we don't need all of that. Now, once your mixture's in the bowl, find something fun that they can toss together. Again, this is practice, motor skills, a way for them to do something different, and it's a real experience. They're working with real food and not pretend things, and children really crave this, and they want to do this. They want to be helpful, and they want to make things, and they want to try things in the kitchen and beyond. So if I had a small child with me, I would definitely say, oh, look, you know, what color is this spatula? Oh, isn't this such a pretty green? What else can you think of that's green? A frog. It's so green outside in the springtime. All the grass is growing and the flowers are blooming and all of their stems and leaves are green. And then what color is this? Oh, it's orange. Tell me some things that you can think of that are orange. Can you tell me some things? I'm immediately thinking of a pumpkin because pumpkins are my favorite. There's also beautiful orange flowers blooming right now. Sometimes when the sun is setting, it's a beautiful shade of orange. So make sure your parents are incorporating all these things into the learning experience. And then allow them to toss. Let them have the experience of tossing the chocolate chips and the bunnies and the marshmallows. Let them get in there and play and toss this food around. And also, I should have mentioned, of course, we all want to wash our hands before we get started and teach our children the importance of having clean hands. That way, we don't feel as nervous when they want to maybe get their hands in there. We know, okay, no, their hands are nice and clean, so it's okay. So anyway, once they toss all this together, another great thing for them to do, you can see that it's all tossed together, is to allow them to measure it out, scoop it out, and put it into other containers, because again, this is helping them with their dexterity skills and their fine motor skills, and helping them to focus and concentrate and practice. So if you have any fun scoops at your house, I have this little scoop that a preschooler would love to practice with this little scoop. If you have like a measuring cup is nice. I have a measuring cup here because it has a good handle on it, and that helps them to grip it and hold it and pour it. So again, using a measuring spoon. If you have a scoop, they would really love to use a scoop. This is actually out of my flour bowl, but I've washed it, and I know that our preschoolers would love to use a fun scoop like this to get all of this out into different containers. And then I would look around in the kitchen and find different containers. If we want to be green and do reusable containers, you could allow them to hold it in one hand and scoop it into a small container like this, and encourage them to put the lid on. That's going to, again, engage their motor skills in a way and help to strengthen their hands, because sometimes these containers, they can be a little bit tricky to get the lid on, and you've really got to focus and practice, you know, things that we take for granted as we get older. They're challenging. They can be challenging for some children, and allowing them to practice that is so good for them and their brain. Here's another container that I found that's kind of small. This is more like a 2-snack container, but you could use it again for practicing, for the purposes of practicing. I have some snack bags here. Again, allowing them to pull the snack bag out one at a time, open the snack bag. This can be a challenging task too. As preschool teachers, one thing that we try to do is when they're opening their snacks or lunches, we let them do it all themselves. We let them unzip their lunch box and set all of their stuff out, because that is good. These things are as important to their learning as any numbers or letters or colors, anything like that. Helping them foster their own independence and learning how to do these skills is just, again, it's very important. So we're opening our little snack bag, and I'm going to use this scoop this time, and just encouraging them to scoop out their snack and pour it into the bag, and then practice closing it, pinching that seal can be difficult until our little hands strengthen up. So the more we practice that, the stronger our hands get, and the more that benefits us with holding a pencil or with holding a crayon and doing some of the other skills that we need. Learning how to use scissors is fairly advanced, and it takes hand strength, and you have to learn how to hold the scissors in such a way that it will actually cut through whatever it is you're trying to cut. So practicing these things with supervision in a fun way is an excellent thing to do with our preschoolers, and I hope that you guys will make this fun s'mores bunny trail mix or Teddy Graham trail mix, and that you guys will take the time and go through this slowly and just make a whole learning process out of it. And I would love to hear how it goes for you down in the comments. So thank you again, praying for you guys, love y'all, and hope to see you soon.